Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.
Let me see. What am I doing wrong here? Good health, everyone. And how are you? And welcome to Sunday morning and the reading of the Company of Prophets. How's everyone doing today? I'm going to check my voice this morning and see what my dialect sounds like today. Yeah, see what my dialect sounds like today. Hi, Angela. Good. We can hear you just fine. Thank you. How are you? I am going to turn the volume up just a little bit, though. That volume up just a little bit. How are you today, Angela? And thank you for coming on board. I am happy. Today, I hope happiness evades everyone's cell today. Now, today is Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to those of you that receive the message. Those of you that care to receive the message. Some of you have had mothers that have passed on. Learn to celebrate because they can feel and hear you over there, and the sadness is not what they want because even they couldn't help dying. And it's like, celebrate my life. For those of you that may be somewhat disgruntled because you've been trying to have a baby and has not come to fruition, remember that there are alternatives. There's surrogacy and there's adoption. So choose something else. There's just a lot of kids that need adopting. For those of you that waited for a man to come along to make a baby, but the right man never came along, but you still want a baby. For those of you that still want to be a mother, please do it. Go in a catalog and pick somebody's picture, you know, of in their sperm and match it with your egg and go make a baby. None of this is that hard. But what I do want to say to everyone, hey, John, have a good Sunday. What I do, oh, thank you, John. Thank you. I appreciate that. What I do want to say to everyone is this. In 2024, there are so many options. And being disgruntled on an amazing day of celebrating mothers. Do not let your disgruntled behavior prevent you from wishing others happy Mother's Day. Because my belief system, if you want it, you can have it. The limitations are gone. So the only limitations that we have are the limitations inside your head. Stop blocking yourself and make do what you will. And if it costs money, then start saving for it. You have a mortgage, you have a beautiful car, $600 car note, $200 insurance, give up the car and take that 600 and save it for 18 months, or figure out what the price is. Or here's the red light moment: adopt, save a child, especially black children. Save a child. All right, sweetie, that is my message for the day. Let me go back to the screen. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, Angela, and happy Mother's Day to you. Let me get my picture up here again. Get back to the comments. How did I just come in on this part? It was so meant for me to hear. Oh, yes, Bree. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Miss Tracy. You're quite welcome. And happy Mother's Day. Thank you, Bree. And happy Mother's Day to you. And that is because you came from a woman, right? So happy Mother's Day has huge meaning beyond the singular moment of myself. All right. And like I said, time to go investigating how to make your own, how to get your own, so that one day you get to have Happy Mother's Day. And you go, thank you. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the chat. You are a life giver that never gets noticed. Oh, tell me about it. I totally agree. Especially in the modern age. Back in the day, moms and mothers were everything. You wouldn't fuck with a mother back in the day, but nowadays, it takes a lot to be appreciated. I am drinking an amazing cup of coffee. This is my last bag of Mutumbu coffee. I love that dark skinned man. I mean, I don't know him like that, but anybody that can give me coffee like this with that dark skin, yes. I do have his cookies left, but I really have to monitor my sugar intake. So yesterday I had two of the cookies. I know. That's why I monitor my sugar intake. I could devour some things. Whew. And I found a place that makes donuts. Oh my God, why? God, why do you do this to me? Stop testing me. I will fail, God. I will fail you. I will eat a donut. That is not the test that I'm going to pass. Like, I'm going to get to heaven and God is going to be like 175,000 donuts. And I'm going to be like, I, I, why'd you put donuts on the planet? The fuck? You created donuts. Oh, it's so hot. My friend Richard, Mr. Sensitive, gave me the prettiest, I mean, just adorable Mother's Day, and it's called Conversation by Eric Winter. And Eric Winter has been capturing traditional West Indian images on canvas since 1954. So I love this card, and I'm going to put it on a picture frame. That's how much I love it. These big body, full body women. All right. Are we ready to begin our session? Let's do this, everyone. Where's my coffee? I have my bell. And did anyone try the Northern Lights experiment last night? Angela says, I'll be yes, God. Krispy Kreme was calling my name at every chance. What could I do? What could I do, Lord? Creative soul. God is going to be like, go over to the donut mansion. And you're going to be like, what? God's going to be like, I'm not taking it from you. Not now. Go to the donut mansion. Enjoy. I'm like, all right, God, I'm talking. Which way do I go? Left? What is it? Down the road? Left? Do I glide there? No, I'm actually going to get up there. God's going to tell me how funny I wasn't. That's what's going to happen. All right. I just kind of want to be naked. It's so hot today. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, let's take a look. We are on page 80, and we are, oh, I know what's wrong. I got to put up the Company of Profits picture. Oh, that feels better with the air directly on me. Okay. We are on page 80, and I believe this is about Minnie Evans. Draw or die, says a voice in a vision. On Good Friday, 1935, Minnie Evans, the 52-year-old, started drawing, she recalled. I never did nothing so hard and as terrible as that in my life. For hours I worked. From that day on, Minnie affixed her dreams and visions into the physical universe with crayons, pencils, watercolors, and oil paintings. Religious and mystical things were vividly present through her drawings and paintings. Among the things her son George discussed with filmmakers Irving Surreif and Ali Light in 1980 was his father's reaction to his mother's art. Minnie's crazy, her son recalled him saying. She's going crazy, doing those things that she's doing now. And he used to try to take it away from her. I used to tell Pop, leave her alone. Let her go ahead and paint. Minnie confided in her son George, this stuff I'm doing right now, I have dreams of the thing. And I feel God gave me this permission, gave me this mission to do this. Minnie contended she was trained by teachers whom she described as not of the physical world. I'm without a teacher. Isn't this the second time in the book? Remember the composer. Remember the composer said that spirit taught him? Minnie is now Minnie is now saying that her art comes from spirit. I am without a teacher, a worldly teacher. God has sent me a teacher, an angel to stand by me. He directs me what to do. Time for me to paint a picture. and I be tired. I say, I'm going to rest up a couple of days. He won't let me come there, grab my feet, and shake me, beat me on the feet. Scared me so bad one night I jumped out of bed and looked. Thought some of the children had come in there. Nobody in the room, no one. Sometime I just make a picture. It's wrong. I got to erase it out. Mm, little. Let me get this up here. God tells me, oh, I have erased one or two pictures completely out and put them down and wait till the next day to start working on them. Well, I paint. I just go until I just get nearly crazy. Say, what on earth these pictures be? And I keep putting them down sometimes till after a while they say, that's right. Then I looks at the patterns again and then I got through the picture. Then he tells me I did right. I have a particular picture he likes. When some of her first paintings fell apart because of age, Minnie was worried and didn't know what to do. The angel spoke to me, pasted them on a board. I said, thank you, thank you. I had the boards, I had the glue. I got up the next morning and started to pasting them, and they are very pretty. In an earlier interview, she had said to filmmakers Allie and Irving, I thank God for the gift. I told my mother, God has this plan out for me before you received me in the womb. God had that plan and was passed on to me just like that. God has a plan for you too. Minnie Evans was born in Pender County, North Carolina on December 1st, 1892. She spent most of her life in Wilmington, North Carolina. Her first art exhibit was in 1961. Since then, her work has been shown at major museums and galleries in the United States and has also exhibited in Europe. Here's the key word that comes out of this. Just like that, God has a plan for you too. Let me look up Minnie Evans real quick, guys. Minnie Evans. Oh, that's why I knew Minnie Evans. I've seen her work before. Oh, did it come up in our earlier readings, Minnie Evans? This is extraordinary. She has, like, to me, it looks like kaleidoscope art. She is so cute. Little chunky thing, so cute. Her art looks like kaleidoscope to me. Hmm, very interesting. Very lovely. Kind of what I would think heaven looks like in some of her art. Hmm. I think what I find more interesting, guys, in reading this book is how creative physical, metaphysical people are. I think that's what I'm finding astounding more than anything. That the metaphysical people are very, very talented. Let me see what everybody is saying. I'm naked, laying across. Oh my God, I'm just so overclothed. Oh, were you born in Penter County, North Carolina? Currently live in Wilmington. Yes, I remember you went home. I saw the documentary. I think it's on YouTube. Let's take a look. Let's find it. Minnie Evans, YouTube. The angel that stands by me. All right, here it is. There's a several, but this looks like the documentary. It's 28 minutes long. Interesting. I'll post this one in the group. It's called Visions of Paradise. Copy. By the way, is anybody obsessed with the Drake Kendrick beef? I have become totally obsessed with it, even though I don't 100% understand it, but I do understand that it's been a sneaky beef going back 10 years. And I will say this about the beef, if anybody cares to have my opinion. Um, this beef that has been going on, it's been going on for 10 years. And I'm going to tell you something about smart people, the turtles, right? Drake was trying to capture all of the, oh man, I meant to do it to you guys first. No. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Okay. I just need to send a happy mother's present. So, this is the thing about turtle people. One of my favorite stories is the tortoise and the hare, right? And I live by the tortoise story, right? And my whole life is the tortoise story. If you notice YouTube, everybody that's come after me has always done better than me. They get more views, they get their plaques. I've been here since 2011. I'm still the tortoise, just trying to get there. I don't even know where there is, but neither do they because they're the hares. But the thing about the hares is that they're gonna flip on their ass one day, right? They're getting all the everything that they want right now fast. Whereas the tortoise will get what they want, but in a more enjoyable, slower pace, calm, right? A little more boring, right? That's Drake and Lamar. Drake tried to capture up all the rappers and bring them into his fold, OVO, or be a part of their their albums. He's very much like a P. Diddy, just he's a Scorpio. So he just kind of works it. Is P. Diddy a Scorpio or P. Diddy a Sag? I always forget. Just works them into the fold before he stings and disables them. So at some point, there's always been this beef, but at some point, Drake exploded. And upon exploding, his ego got the best of him, which means he got sloppy, which means he was letting people know how dirty he was and how ugly he was. And then it was no longer a secret because he was so good and so famous and so powerful that his arrogance got the best of him. But somebody, the torters, like Kendrick Lamar, who didn't create for almost 5 or 10 years, all of a sudden came out and was like, let me tell you about yourself. The tortoise always wins, people. Tortoise people always win. When it comes down to retirement, the tortoise are going to be secure financially. I'm not saying they're going to be wealthy and rich and living a high life. Those are the hares. But the tortoise, they're going to know exactly what it takes to sustain themselves. They won't die early because they never cared about the fanfare in the first place. Thank you, Bree. They're both Scorpios. Interesting. hmm Drake was being groomed to be the next P. Diddy. All right, that's my rap beef commentary. I might do a reading on it though later. Back to Minnie. Minnie, thank you for your artwork. We really appreciate you. Many blessings, and I hope you're with all the artists in heaven. Get a word. Zilpha Elah was born to free parents in Pennsylvania around 1790. After her mother's death, her father placed her with Quaker family when she was 12 years old, and there she remained until she was 18. She began to attend Methodist meetings at 14 and at 18 joined the Methodist Society. While part of a camp meeting in 1870, she had an experience which she said was either a trance or ecstasy. This she described in her book, Memoirs of Life, Religious Experience, the Ministerial Travels, and Labors of Mrs. Zilpha Elor, an American female of color. Whether it was in the body or whether it was out of the body on that auspicious day, I can't say, but this I do know that at the conclusion of a most powerful sermon delivered by one of the ministers from the platform, while in the congregation we were in prayer, I became so overpowered with the presence of God that I sank down upon the ground and laid there for considerable time. And while I was thus prostrate on earth, my spirit seemed to ascend up into a clear circle of the sun's disk, and surrounded and engulfed in the glorious effulgence of his rays. I distinctly heard a voice speak unto me, which said, now thou art sanctified, and I will show thee what thou must do. I saw no personal appearance while in a stupendous elevation. Oh. I saw no personal appearance while in stupendous elevation, but I discerned bodies of resplendent light, nor did I appear to be in a world at all, but immensely far above those spreading trees, beneath whose shade and verdant boughs I was then reclined. Before the meeting at the camp closed, it was revealed to me revealed to me by the Holy Spirit that I must employ myself in visiting families and in speaking personally to the members thereof of the salvation and eternal interest of their souls, visit the sick, and attend upon other of the errands and services of the Lord. Later in life came Sylphia's awareness of extra physical communication. I have been lost in astonishment at the perception of a voice which either externally or internally had spoken to me, and revealed to me by understanding many surprising and pressing truths. I have often started at having my solitary contemplative silence thus broken, and looked upon me as if with the view of discovering or recognizing the ethereal attendant who so kindly ministered to me, not indeed with the slightest alarm, though with much wonder. For I enjoyed so intimate and heavenly an intercourse with God that I was assured he had sent an angel to instruct me in such of his holy ministries as was otherwise beyond my comprehension. Such communications was most gratifying and delightful to me. In 1819, while uncertain about her recovery from serious illness, Silpha received a message. About 12 o'clock at night, when all was hushed to silence, a human figure in appearance came and stood by my bedside and addressed these words to me: Be of good cheer, for, for thou shalt yet to see another camp meeting. And at that meeting thou shalt know the will of God concerning thee. I then put forth my hand and touched it, and discovered it was not a real human being, but supernatural appearance. I was not alarmed, for the room was filled with the glory of God. At that camp meeting, damn it, oh, at that camp meeting, Silpha said she heard the same identical voice which had spoken to me on the bed of sickness many months before. And it said, Now thou knowest the will of God concerning thee. Thou must preach the gospel, and thou must travel far and wide. By following the directions of the voice, invisible and heavenly from personages sent from God, along with visions, dreams, and impressions, she continued to realize and expand her spiritual course. And though certain manifestations, she knew when her actions were self-directed rather than God will. It's very important. It's very important. It's two different things that happens with us. How we are self-directed and how we are directed by God. And sometimes you can't tell the difference. I talk a lot about pastors that go to preach. And there's a point in their pastoring as they're preaching that is human, fed to us, and then turns supernatural. That's when the spirit gets inside. That's the message I listen to, the one that has spirit inside. The human led is obvious because it's arrogant, it's cold, it's calculating. It doesn't necessarily give advice that everyone can receive, right? Because when Jesus talked, he didn't talk to men, he didn't talk to women, he didn't talk to the priests. He talked to everyone that had an ear to listen. So that means he gave messages that applied to everyone. And so when you're listening to a preacher, however flawed they can be, you could hear them being flawed right in the beginning. But when they let go and spirit gets in, that's the message to listen to. It doesn't mean you get to glorify that pastor because he did not do this work alone. It means you get to say to the pastor, Spirit got in you. And that was nice. A lot of pastors take it to an egotistical level and use how spirit gets in them and then takes advantage of the pulpit And then he says, "Oh, put put her. Oh, thank you, Spirit. They know when it wasn't them. Let me use this opportunity and put out another plate for the parishioners to put money in." See how sneaky that can, like, ego preaching, spirit preaching. But when spirit leaves, ego enters. The original enters. And then the original goes, "Oh, they like that. Little do they know it wasn't even me." Put out another plate, because I'm sure I'm going to take advantage of spirit. When spirit enters, there is somebody in the room that spirit is trying to get to. It will never be about the preacher. It could be about one person in a sea of 1,000 in the stadium. So it's interesting when she says, she continued to realize and expand her spiritual course. No, wait. Um, Hold on. All right, well, I lost it. Following the direction of voices, invisible heavenly personas sent for God, along with the visions, dreams, and impressions, she continued to realize and expand her spiritual course. And through certain manifestations, she knew, here we are, when her actions were self directed rather than God will. Once, when confronted with obstacles which seemed insurmountable, she disowned her commission to preach, reducing it to imagination. And in prayer, I said to my heavenly master in reference to my ministry, "Now I know I am mistaken, and I am not going out at all." I had no sooner uttered these words than a dreadful and chilling gloom instantaneously flooded over and covered my mind. The Spirit of the Lord fled out of my sight and left me in total darkness. Such darkness as was truly felt, so awful a sensation I have never felt before or since. I had quenched the Spirit and became like a tormented demon. I knew not what to do, for I had lost my spiritual enjoyment. My tongue was also silent, so that I was unable to speak to God. I had no power whatsoever to preach. The confirmatory evidence of the validity of her spiritual course was soon manifested. I sat in thoughtful meditation for the very goodness of God towards me, and looking upward, the Lord opened my eyes and I distinctly saw 5 angels hovering above and engaged in the praises of God. The raptures of my soul were too awful and ecstatic on that occasion for human description. The sensory world are unacquainted with the overwhelming fascination which thrills through every instinct on the spiritual mind under the complacent manifestation of ethereal intelligence and their enchanting influences. I concluded that this wonderful manifestation was a token for good and a proof that the Lord was well pleased with the course I had taken. She has sent deeply into the interior slave-holding states to preach for extended periods. Sometimes she preached to slave hovers in the same assemblies. Blessed forever be the Lord who sent me out to preach this gospel, even in this region of wickedness. He preserved me in thy going out and my coming in, so that the protection of the documents of my freedom was not once demanded, sojourn on the slow of slavery. Her first message was regarding travel abroad in 1828. Suddenly, a spirit came upon me, and a voice addressed me, saying, "Be of good cheer and be faithful. I will bring thee to England, and thou shalt see London, that great city, and declare my name there." The second message of her destined trip to England came as a part of a vision in 1837. She embarked for England in 1840. There, as predicted by the Spirit, she preached, traveling to different regions of England to God. Ere this work meets the eye of public, I shall have sojourned in England 5 years. I thank God He has given me some spiritual children in every place wherein I have labored. All right. Hi, Incognito. How are you doing? Oh, look at these beautiful messages. Oh, I just sent out some very beautiful messages to everyone. Yes. Oh, wait. No, actually, I want to send. Oh, wait. Hold on, guys. I've got to send out a very neutral Happy Mother's Day. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? One of my group mates put in the most. I'm going to copy hers. Save. Okay. Hold on, guys. I got to send out these messages. I know I'm working for you guys, but sometimes just got to do right by others. There you go. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, look at everybody. Happy Mother's Day. There you go. Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a big girl. Oh my God. What a big girl. Oh, wow. It's been so good. Such a joy. Little bold Leo. Oh Lord, that Leo. Mm-mm-mm. Pity the mom that has a Leo child. She teaches you to shine, to laugh, to not shy away yourself. She came to teach you how to boss up. She's a warrior, but birthed through a quiet warrior. Aww. Did I spell quiet right? Let me just correct my spelling. Yes. Aww. One of my just adorable people that I know. Love so much. Aww. Looks just like you. Um, has a Leo child. Happy Mother's Day. You're the best. Remember, the world knows you. Mm. Remember, the world knows you as the awesome mother who protected her son. Thank you for sharing yourself and time with us. Your love, guidance, and mentoring. You help us be better human beings. Oh, this is so silly. Oh my God, I cried. Such kind words. Oh, Lord, have mercy. When you don't realize the impact that you have on people, and then they say it like it's so uncomfortable, however, true. Oh my God, that made me so emotional. Okay. I understand, everyone, that I am not here to live. I am here for a mission to give back. And I think what I believe I'm giving back to the world, I can't be sure, but I believe I am giving back empowerment. I think women have lost themselves. I was too young to enjoy the 70s and the burning of the bra, but if I had been an adult in the 70s, I would today still be making an impact, as most of the women in the 70s have done, right? But when we get to calculated government and the restructuring of government to diminish family and diminish proud women, black or white, Asian, Jew, like I'm talking about women as a totality. When the system has been designed to bring you back to a place of, in the beginning of time, and we brought into it, right? Where we think the only way that we can be happy is by the love of a man, even if the man is the most sloppiest man that you could be with. To not think that you can be happy all by yourself, or to be embarrassed because there's no man around. I feel like I am here to get everyone proud of themselves, however way that looks. You still advance, you still educated, you still take care of your home. Some of you take care of your children. Like, women thrive anyways, and yet they thrive with the less empowerment stance. They're afraid to be powerful. A woman, women built this world from the beginning. Eve never stole that uh, apple and gave it to Adam. Adam stole the apple. If you look at modern day times right now, who's the one that cheats? Oh, oh, there are parts in the Bible that's a whole lie. You know, Adam would have been the weaker one. He would have been around sulky. Oh, God, I don't like Lilith. And now I don't like whatever her name is, Eve. And God is like, yo, like, no, I'm not banishing another woman. You're gonna have to find your way through this. And Adam had an affair with the goddamn snake. Yeah. And Adam picked the apple. And Adam was like, eat the apple, eat the apple. And Eve's like, didn't God tell us not to eat the apple, you dumbass? But at some point, like women do with their men, that's why there's so many women in jail right now. She ate the apple because she's an idiot, because she wanted to make Adam happy. She should have walked the fuck out the Garden of Eden. That would have been better than eating a goddamn apple. Try to convince my ass that a woman had an affair with a fucking snake and ate that damn apple. We aren't built that way. All right. Preaching over. I'm done. Raymond? What? Hi. What? Oh. How are you doing? Let me just tell him I so loved your mom. Oh. Aww. What is that? My cousin Raymond, who God knows how old he is, he might be a little bit older than my son. So he might be in his 40s now. Thinking, could he be that? Yeah, actually, he might be in his 40s now. Raymond's mom, I was telling you guys last week about the church that I came from, Fellowship Baptist Church. And Raymond's mom was the woman, the cousin that brought me to the Baptist church. And she was a screamer and she was a hollerer and she would just feel it. She would just go in and just feel it. And I enjoyed her, but she's also my family. So there are certain parts of my family that can be overly zealous. I can be overly zealous. I just use it on YouTube, so I channel it a little better. She channeled it in church, but so giving and so kind. And she passed away a few years back. And this is her son. Oh, wow. Look at that. Blast from the past. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? All right. Let's get this party started. Let's get this. Okay, what am I doing? Now I forget where I was. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, says Incognito. There you go. Oh, and this is the documentary for Minnie Evans, I believe, Creative Soul. All right, moving on. I have a lot to say today. I am in an exceptional mood today, by the way. I have been happier than I've ever been in the last 2.5 years. I measure happiness, so I know what happiness feels like. I also feel like I learned an expression recently, and I think it's called functionally depressed. And I think I have been functionally depressed in the last 2.5 years. I didn't realize how much I needed family, and my son coming back into my life have just given me calmness in every cell in my body. And I think what was happening before was anger was in my body. And just before he came back, I didn't even know this was going to be a thing. But just before he came back, God took all the anger away. I decided that he had every right to protect himself and his family and his wife. And I was no longer angry. And that happened just around the anniversary in November. And although I knew the documentary was coming out, I didn't know when, one. And two, I wanted to complete this, what I was going through. And in November, I feel like I had reached the threshold. And the threshold was I could stay angry forever, and God would never stop me, or I could release it and give it back to God because it wasn't mine anyway. It was something I had created. So I don't remember if I asked God to take it from me or have walked on the purple brick road to a place that I had to stop and look at the situation and decide if I was going to continue on the purple brick road. That, by the way, I created this whole road. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, just without the liars in the Wizard of Oz. These are truth tellers, right? And I decided that I couldn't walk any further until I left it. I left it. I placed it on the ground and no longer carried anger on my back. It was not doing my life and my living any good. And so I did that. And then lo and behold, Valentine's Day came. So funny. And I said, because I had changed by then, right? And I said, let me try one more time. And one more time wouldn't have been the last time. It just was like, let me try one more time. And I said, happy birthday. Happy Valentine's Day, Brian. It was February 14th. And he said, happy Valentine's Day, Mom. And I said, you answered me? You really answered me? And I just want to add this only because I love talking about this situation. I also love talking about myself. We were invited to a final episode on hashtag Quiet on Set. And it could have been had in New York or it could have been had in Los Angeles. So my son and I had already talked by this time. We had begun to have those hard conversations about apologizing and how we got here. And I spoke to his wife, and I didn't get to apologize to him first, but I damn sure was going to apologize to his wife first. So, like that same night, my son and I talked. We talked for hours. Then his wife was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're back in our lives." And I was like, I was on one of my shows, and I was like, "I'm gonna contact you, but let me say I'm sorry." I did it in writing, and then when I got off my podcast and I called her, I said, "I'm sorry." I just needed to say it first, and my son wouldn't let me. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it to her first. I'm gonna say I'm sorry, and she deserved it first, right? And then we were invited to go to New York City. And I said to my son, this is so apropos for new birth to come back to an event that held the memory and then released it through this documentary, and to be together in New York City where he was born. Now he likes to call himself from Brooklyn, but from I can't do it with him. He was born in, I think it was shit, now I'm forgetting. Roosevelt Hospital. Shit. How could I forget that? In New York City. And I said to him, how amazing is it that this relationship, that we literally had to come back to the birthplace. Like, that is crazy to me. I hadn't seen him in 2 years. I hadn't spoken to him in 2.5 years. But to touch him at the birthplace, at the land, at the ground, like that's ground zero for us. Like, God is amazing. When you think what a funny God we have, oh, he got jokes because God is amazing. All right, let's continue on. Let me just wish some more people happy. Oh, you know what? Oh, everybody is saying happy Mother's Day update. All right. So amazing. Oh, that's what it looks like. It looks like a kite. Huh. All right. One more person. No. Oh. Aww. Aww. I love this, Nika. Aww. This is so much fun. All right. Oh, wait, I got one more person. So, I had a bay leaf yesterday. Sorry, guys, if I'm not getting in a book. I have habits of doing that. And let me see the spiritual meaning of a kite. And there's a kite in the bay leaf. And it says a kite encounter indicates a spiritual message that one needs to receive in order to grow. The kite is a striking, the kite, no, not a bird, not the bird. Oh, it symbolizes freedom because they fly high in this. No, divine glory. Kite symbolizes divine glory. Oh, Lord. Apparently, a kite is a bird. No, I mean literally a kite. What's another word for kite, guys? Should I say flying kite? Okay, here. Maybe I found this a space for it. Are you having kites coming to your mind very often when it goes with your thoughts? The image of a kite coming into your thoughts means you're feeling. Nope. As the story goes, the kite was made and flown in China. From China, it spread all over Asia. Oh, whatever. The kite symbolized the quest for freedom in you. When you are flying a kite, you have the same feeling of freedom as a bird has while it skims and swoops and circles in the sky. Kite, okay, the idea. The symbol of the kite stands for hope, happiness, youth, loyalty, friendship, pride, independence, religion, relationships, honor, prophecy, faith, violence. Violence. The kite symbolizes your unique characteristics, sometimes reflected in the color and the size and design, blah, blah, blah. The kite also stands for your influence over others who are around you. Okay, now that I can see. When a kite is flown, normally there are two people helping to fly it. That's not true. The first person who does the actual flying, the other who feeds the string as the kite goes higher and higher in the sky. Okay, all right. Lord have mercy. Oh, yeah. All right, whatever. Okay, what are we doing? Bree says, Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies in the room. Happy Mother's Day, beautiful baby. Oh, wait. Do I have you? How do I have you, beautiful baby? Oh, beautiful. There you go. Oh, all right. I just sent you a pic. All right. Let's moving on. I have an 11 o'clock reading today, so I might have to end it. Let me see. If this is too long, I'm not going to read it. Oh, wait. Let's see. 80. 80-ish. 80-ish. Okay, Minnie Evans. This is too long. Oh, Silpha. Okay. All right. Let's continue on. Thomas Glover. Thomas Glover entered the Abbey of Our Lady of Gethsemane on December 9th, 1949, and assumed the habit of a Trappist monk. He took a new name, Brother Jose. He stopped running from himself, feeling he owed God everything. With this move, Glover sacrificed his music as a gift to him. Glover had known some successes as a jazz musician, playing the tenor saxophone with the King Colacs Big Band from 1943 to 1946. He did solo performances and wrote some of the band's arrangements. He had dreams of being great and famous, but in a Kentucky monastery, his life became one of silence. Speech was replaced by sign language, and the outside world could not invade by radio, television, newspaper, or magazine. His days were defined by prayer, meditation, manual labor, and theological study. When Mark Crawford of Ebony magazine interviewed Brother Jose in October 1960, it was the first time in a decade that the monk has spoken with anyone from the outside world. All right. Okay, I'm going to read the next one, but it's going to make me go into a tyrant of speaking. So I hope I can contain myself. If not, I might come back and visit this next week. I don't know if I should read this now or what. All right, let me read it now. Though it seems curious, I do not remember ever asking for anything but what I got it, and I always received it as an answer to my prayers. When sold as a slave for the second time during her childhood and removed from brutal mistreatment, Sojourner Truth, living in the first half of the 1800s, had no doubt that the event was an answer to her repeated prayer. She had appealed to God to help her father get her a new and better place. It was her custom and claim to talk with God every day. When she was about 30 years old, Sojourner spoke with him about her master's deceit. Her owner had withdrew his promise to give her freedom, but she was planning to leave. As described in her book, Narrative of Sojourner Truth, a bondswoman of olden time. Now, says I want to get away, but the trouble's just here. I try to get away in the night. I can't see, and if I try to get away in the daytime, they'll see me and be after me. Then the Lord said to me, get up 2 or 3 hours before daylight and start off. Say I, thank you, Lord. That's a good thought. So up I got at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I started and traveled pretty fast. Then I begun to think I didn't know where. I didn't know nothing where to go. So I kneeled down and I says, well, Lord, you started me out, and now please to show me where to go. Then the Lord made a house appear to me, and he said to me that I was to walk on till I saw that house and go in and ask the people to take me in. And I traveled all day and I didn't come to the house till late at night. And when I saw it, sure enough, I went in and I told the folks that the Lord sent me. And they were Quakers and real kind they was to me. Sojourner had been working for these people for a few months when one morning she told her employer that her old master, Dumont, would come that day and that she had to go home with him. Surprised by her pronouncement, Sojourner's employers asked her how she knew. She replied her feelings told her he would come before night. Dumont arrived. On that same day, when Sojourner's employer brought her services from her master, and he left without her, Sojourner gained a new awareness of God through a vision. Just as I was going out to get into the wagon, I met God and I said, oh God, I didn't know as you were so great. And I turn right around and come into the house and sit down in my room and twist God all around me. I could feel it burning, burning, burning all around me and going through me. And I saw I was so wicked. It seems as if it would burn me up. And I said, oh, somebody stand between God and me, for it burns me. Then I felt as if it was something like an amber bill umbrella that came between me and the light. And I felt it was somebody. Somebody stood between me and God. And it felt cool, like a shade. And I says, who, who's that stands between me and God? And I began to feel 'twas was somebody that loved me. And I tried to know him. And when I said, I know you, the light came. And when I said, I don't know you, it was just like the sun in a pail of water. And finally, something spoke out in me and said, this is Jesus. And I spoke out with all my might and says, this is Jesus. Glory be to God. And the whole world grew bright, and the trees, they waved and waved in glory. And every little bit of the stone shone like grass. And I shouted and I said, praise to the Lord. And I began to feel such a love in my soul as never felt before, love to all the creatures. And then all of a sudden it stopped. And I said, there's them white folks. They had abused you and beat you and abused your people. Think of them. But then there came another rush of love through my soul. And I cried out, Lord, Lord, I can love even them white folks. Sojourner explained that she had the experience she had heard, no preaching, been to no meeting. Nobody had ever told me. I kind of heard of Jesus, but thought it was like a General or Lafayette or some of them. 1 year after obtaining her freedom, Sojourner moved to New York City. In 1843, she left that city, directed by spirits, which told her to go to the East and preach. It was at this time she changed her name from Isabella. Interesting. And the Lord gave me Sojourner because I was to travel up and down the land, the people, the sins, and being a sign unto them. The Lord gave me truth because I was to declare the truth to the people. With deep spiritual conviction, Sojourner's Truth committed her life for more moral and social reform as an aboli- abolitionist and advocate of women's rights. Ooh, that's why I love me some Sojourner. I love me women's rights. I do want to point something out here, and I knew I was going to get into something with this short paragraph in Sojourner. I wish this had been longer, but sometimes we get what's just enough. And I want to point out this paragraph. So let's go over it again. Just as I was going get into the wagon, I met God and says, oh God, I didn't know as you were so great. And I turned round and come into the house and sat down in my room, for 'twas was God all around me. I could feel it burning, burning, burning all around me and going through me. And I saw I was wicked. It seemed as if it would burn me up. And I said, oh, somebody stand between God and me, for it burns me. Now, I say that paragraph over again because y'all seem to think that God would not burn you if you seriously, if you seriously met God, you would just die. She was burning up. Somebody else in the wrong mindset of always thinking that the devil is a lie keeps the devil alive. God can burn your ass. But what if God had to show himself to her to cleanse her? Fire is cleansing. But I just like when I hear people say and praise the devil, thinking that they're praising God, that burning that she got from God was God, not the devil. Somebody else in modern times, through slavery, have taken the devil, designedly glorified the devil, call out the devil's name. All y'all do is preach the devil. I challenge you to not think of anything as the devil. I challenge you. Do not put the devil in your thought. Do not put the devil out of your mouths. Instead of saying the devil is a lie, say God is the truth, like Sojourner's name. Instead of saying there's a demonic or demon inside of someone, you turn it around and say, through the light of God in me, I overcame. And you don't have to repeat, I overcame evil, I overcame demonic. Just say, I overcame my financial crisis. I overcame being divorced. I overcame getting through school. Just don't add the demon tried. No. No. Keep the name demon, demonic, whatever you might want to call an entity. Keep it out your mouth. Because good or bad, God is there. God decides. Through the light in me, I overcame. Yes, yes, Infinite. That's what I'm talking about. Say it differently, understand it differently, and you will get to believe more in God. Y'all pretend to love God, but if you really just understood how much God really does for you, you may not have everything you want. I don't have the love of my life. It doesn't mean that I don't know that God loves me. I know He's preserving me. And I trust. I trust in Him. Because every guy that comes to me is kind of sloppy. And God doesn't want me to change being on a purple brick road. But that's not the fucking devil that does it. That is God. So when she says, it's so pretty here, she says, just as I was going out to get into the wagon, I met God. And says oh God, I didn't know as you were so great. And I turned right around and came into the house and sat down in my room, for 'twas God all around me. I could feel it burning, burning, burning all around me and going through me. And I said, I was so wicked. It seemed as if it would burn me up. And I said, oh, somebody stand between God and me. for it burns me. Notice how she thought she was wicked. She was being cleansed. She walked away from God, and God walked right in the house with her and burned and burned and burned her. How do we go to work every day and have a boss that burns us? How do we come home every day to a relationship that is disrespectful and burns us? You think God is not in those details? He is. And so when you pray and you say, somebody help me. In her case, it was Jesus. In your case, you might have to use the right words. You might have to say, God, I don't want this anymore. Take it from me. And if you ask God to stop that burning inside of you, it could be your addiction to food, your addiction to pills and drugs, your addiction to always winding up in a bad position, your addiction to winding up around bad people, your addiction to bad relationships. All you have to do is say, God, I don't want this burning anymore. Can you take it from me? I have learned my lesson. Take it from me. And so during this case, she said, oh, somebody stand between God and me, for it burns me. Then I felt as it was something like an umbrella that came between me and the light, and I felt it was somebody that stood between me and God, and I felt it cool like a shade, and I said, who's that stands between me and God? I began to feel it was somebody that loved me, and I tried to know him. When I said, I know you, the light came. And when I said, I don't know you, it went just like the sun in a pail of water. And finally, something spoke out to me and said, this is Jesus. And I spoke out with all my might, and I said, this is Jesus. Glory be to God. Notice what happened. I felt there's something like an umbrella came between me and the light. And I felt it was somebody that stood between me and God, and it felt cool like a shade. And I said, who's that stands between me and God? And I began to feel it was somebody that I loved, and I tried to know him. And when I said, I know you, the light came. And when I said, I don't know you, it went like the sun in a pail of water. And finally, something spoke out to me and said, this is Jesus. And I spoke out with all my might, and I said, oh, this is Jesus? And what did she add? Glory be to God. She did not accept Jesus without giving the glory to God. God is first. When you communicate, it is not Jesus you should communicate with first. It is God, and then Jesus. And the whole world grew bright, and the trees, they waved in glory, and every little bit of stone on the ground shone like glass. And I shouted and said, praise to the Lord. And I began to feel such a love in my soul I has never felt before, love to all the creatures. And then all of a sudden it stopped, and I said, there's them white folks that have abused you and beat you and abused your people. Think of them. But then there came another rush of love through my soul, and I cried out, Lord, I can love even them white folks. The part that I like here is how the trees waved. The trees waved when Jesus showed up. Every stone shone like glass. She saw it outside of her. She began to look at the things around her. And the trees were waving like they would in a storm. Has anybody ever looked at trees waving in a storm? And they don't break. And the trees were waving at Jesus. And Sojourner saw it, and she knew that to be a miracle because the trees were talking to Jesus. Okay, what happened? Oh, all right. Okay. I think that's my sign. I should stop. I love you all. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I hope I helped with today's I'm gonna start calling them classes, child. With today's class, happy Mother's Day. God's grace and glory. Yes, happy. If you want a reading with me, I am available. I'm doing a reading right now. Happy Mother's Day to all. And let me remind everyone, get out of your selfish heads. All of you are born through a mother. Good or bad, God is in the details. Happy Mother's Day to you. Call me for your own personal reading. I'm available for you today. Anybody feels lonely or distracted or sad, I'm here. 213-458-7408. Bye, everyone. Love you.